truck driver. And tonight we're learning more about the 25-year-old man who was killed. A second victim, a 21-year-old woman who we're told is the man's girlfriend, was shot in the leg, but she is expected to be okay.
Picture this. You're 25 years old, sitting in your tow truck with the person you love most in this world. It's a Sunday evening in January. You've only been parked for a few minutes. Maybe you're laughing about something. Maybe you're making plans for next week. And then, out of nowhere, a silver Honda pulls up beside you. In the next 8 seconds, your entire world ends. Over a dozen bullets tear through your truck. You die right there on North Street, and your girlfriend, shot 9 times in the leg, has to watch it all happen. This is exactly what happened to Aaron Whitfield Jr. on January 11th, 2026, in Northeast Philadelphia. And before we go any further, if you're interested in true crime cases like this one, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to Crime Files, and make sure you click that bell icon so you never miss a case. Because what happened to Aaron isn't just a random act of violence. It's part of something much darker happening in Philadelphia's towing industry. Now, let me tell you about Aaron. He wasn't some street kid caught up in gang violence. He wasn't involved in anything shady. Aaron was what his family called a gentle giant. He was playful, hard-working, and he genuinely loved what he did for a living. His parents, Aaron Sr. and Kimberly, raised him in East Mount Airy, and by all accounts, he was just a good kid who found his path in life. He worked for a company called 448 Towing and Recovery out of Jenkintown. And here's the thing about Aaron that really gets me. He loved being a tow truck driver. I know that might sound strange to some of you, but think about it. He was helping people on probably one of the worst days of their lives. Your car breaks down, you get in an accident, you need help, and Aaron shows up. That was his job. That was what he enjoyed doing. He had a girlfriend he adored. They were building a life together. On that Sunday evening, January 11th, they stopped at a smoke shop on Bustleton Avenue. They'd only been parked for a couple of minutes. They were about to go inside. Just a normal evening. Just two people in love doing normal things. And then that silver Honda Accord appeared. 2 people inside. They didn't say a word. They didn't give a warning. They just opened fire. Over a dozen shots ripped through that tow truck. Aaron was hit multiple times in the head and body. His girlfriend took 9 bullets to her left leg. The Honda sped off into the night, leaving behind a scene that would haunt everyone who saw it. Aaron was pronounced dead at the scene at 8 p.m. Just like that, a 25-year-old man with his whole life ahead of him was gone. His girlfriend survived, but imagine living with that trauma. Imagine being there, helpless, watching the person you love die right next to you. But here's where this gets even more disturbing. Aaron wasn't the first driver from 448 Towing to be murdered. Just 3 weeks earlier, on December 22nd, 2025, another young driver from the same company was shot. His name was David Garcia Morales. He was only 20 years old. David was working in the Frankfurt neighborhood when someone in a blue Jeep Grand Cherokee pulled up and shot him in the neck and thigh while he sat in his tow truck. He fought for his life for 4 days at Temple University Hospital before dying on December 26, for days after Christmas. Can you imagine what his family went through? Now, here's something that'll break your heart even more. Aaron Whitfield was there when David got shot. He was actually at the scene. Aaron helped pull David from his truck before the police arrived. He stayed with him until help came. He visited David in the hospital. They were friends. David's mother said they were both just babies, really. Young guys trying to make an honest living. So Aaron witnessed his friend and co-worker get shot. He helped save him, or at least tried to. He watched David fight for his life. And then, just 3 weeks after David died, Aaron himself was gunned down in almost the exact same way. Same company, same type of attack, different locations, but only about 3 miles apart. Do you see the pattern forming here? Philadelphia police definitely did. And what they uncovered was a suspect named Najee Williams. He's 27 years old, and get this, he owns his own towing company called NKW Towing and Recovery up in North Philadelphia. He's not just some hired killer. He's a competitor in the same industry. Police say surveillance footage placed Williams at both murder scenes. Both of them. They recovered the silver Honda Accord that was used in Aaron's murder. It had been reported stolen, and forensic evidence inside that car tied directly back to Najee Williams. Inspector Ernest Ransom from the Philadelphia Police Homicide Unit stated very clearly that they determined Williams was at both locations and committed both crimes. But Williams? He vanished. As of the last reports, he's still out there somewhere. Police believe he was last seen in Montgomery County. There's a $20,000 reward for information leading to his arrest and conviction. He's been charged with murder, conspiracy, firearms violations, and reckless endangerment. The FBI and U.S. Marshals are involved in the manhunt. Let me tell you what Aaron's father said. He told reporters, "Good kid. Found his girlfriend. They loved each other. And then this, all of a sudden, bam. He's gone from me." He said Aaron wasn't involved in street nonsense. Nothing like that. And then he said something that really stuck with me. This tow truck war's got to stop. Tow truck wars. That's what he called it. And he's absolutely right. So you might be wondering, what exactly are tow truck wars? How does towing cars lead to people getting murdered? Well, let me explain what's been happening in Philadelphia for years, because this didn't start with Aaron and David. Philadelphia has what's supposed to be a fair rotational system for towing. When there's an accident, police are supposed to call companies in rotation, so everyone gets their fair share of business. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's the problem. A lot of tow truck operators don't wait for that system. They monitor police scanners constantly, listening for accidents. The second they hear about a crash, they race to the scene before police even arrive. These people are called wreck chasers. And in the towing business, there's this unwritten rule. Whoever gets their fingerprints on the car first gets to claim the wreck. So it becomes this race. Companies hire spotters, guys who literally run the accident scenes on foot, so they can call their tow truck and claim the vehicle before anyone else gets there. Remember I mentioned a third possible victim? There was a 26-year-old man named Aaron Smithson who worked as one of these spotters. He was shot multiple times inside his truck on November 23rd, 2025, up in North Philadelphia. He died on January 4th, 2026, after fighting for his life for over a month. Police are investigating whether Najee Williams is connected to his murder too. Think about that timeline. November 23rd, Aaron Smithson shot. December 22nd, David Garcia Morales shot. January 11th, Aaron Whitfield Jr. murdered. 3 shootings in less than 2 months. 3 young men connected to the towing industry, all in Philadelphia. But this violence isn't new. Back in 2010, Philadelphia saw what they called the towing wars. Multiple shootings, vehicles set on fire, violent confrontations at accident scenes. One driver was literally run over repeatedly by another driver's truck at a gas station and killed. 13 vehicles were torched at one auto body lot. A towing office was shot up. The city tried to implement reforms, but clearly they didn't work. And then in 2017, there were the Bob's towing murders. This one's particularly chilling. A contract killer named Ernest Presley was hired to murder a tow truck driver named Kyan Frooster to prevent him from testifying at an assault trial. But here's the twisted part. Presley decided to kill another random tow truck driver first, a 35-year-old named Eric Robinson, just to make it look like a towing company feud. He murdered Eric for no reason other than to create a cover story. Then the next day, he killed Kyan. Presley was eventually caught and sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences for 6 total murders. That case went federal. The FBI got involved. The U.S. Attorney's Office prosecuted it. Sound familiar? Because the exact same thing is happening now with Aaron's case. Aaron's mother, Kimberly, said something that really captures how senseless this all is. She said, "They have no respect for nobody no more. They don't care where you are, who you're with, they don't care." And she's right. Aaron was shot outside a smoke shop in broad view of surveillance cameras, with his girlfriend right there beside him. Whoever did this didn't care about witnesses, didn't care about cameras, didn't care about the innocent woman who'd be caught in the crossfire. Aaron's father warned him, He told his son, just watch your surroundings. Because he knew the towing industry in Philadelphia was dangerous. He knew there was violence. But what's Aaron supposed to do? Stop working? Stop making a living? Live his life in fear? His father also said, "You took my only boy away from me for no reason." It's hurtful. That line gets me every time. His only boy. And for what? For territory that doesn't even legally belong to anyone? For towing jobs that might pay a few $100s? When the police finally announced charges against Najee Williams, Kimberly said she felt like she hit the lottery. Not because her son was coming back. Obviously, he's never coming back. But because she finally had closure. She finally had a name. She finally knew who took her son from her. She said, hopefully, he'll have a guilty conscience, and he'll realize that Aaron wasn't the person he should have done it to. But here's my question. Who should he have done it to? Is there anyone who deserves to be gunned down over a towing dispute? Is there any amount of money or territory worth taking someone's life? David Garcia Morales' organs saved 6 lives after he died. 6 people are alive today because of his death. His mother said he had a heart of gold and loved everybody. Aaron Whitfield Jr. was described as a gentle giant who loved his job and the people around him. Aaron Smithson was just trying to make money as a spotter. These weren't bad people. They were just working. And the thing that really haunts me about this case is that Aaron survived the first shooting. He was there when David got hit. He pulled his friend from the truck. He stayed with him. He visited him in the hospital. He saw exactly what this violence looks like up close. And then, just weeks later, he became a victim himself. It's almost like he knew what was coming, like he'd seen his own future and couldn't escape it. By the time charges were announced against Williams on January 28, 2026, Aaron had already been buried. His family had already said goodbye. They'd already started trying to figure out how to live without him. The GoFundMe campaign Kimberly organized to cover funeral expenses and support the family is still up. As I'm recording this, Najee Williams is still out there somewhere, still free, still dangerous. Police say anyone who sees him should not approach him because he's considered armed and dangerous. There's a $20,000 reward, but so far, he hasn't been caught. Think about what that means for Aaron's family. They know who killed their son. They have a name. They have a face. They have charges filed. But the man who pulled that trigger is still walking around somewhere, probably looking over his shoulder, probably scared, but still free. Aaron's girlfriend, who survived 9 gunshot wounds to her leg, has to live knowing that her boyfriend's killer hasn't faced justice yet. And here's what really keeps me up at night about this case. If police are right, if Najee Williams killed both Aaron and David, and possibly Aaron Smithson too, that means he murdered at least 2 people, maybe 3. Over what? Over towing cars? Over business competition? Over territory in a city where no tow truck driver legally owns any territory at all? Inspector Ernest Ransom made this really clear when he said, "We have some predatory tow truck drivers operating in the city of Philadelphia." I'm here to tell you now, there's no area they own in the city of Philadelphia. He called them predatory. And that's exactly what this is. Predatory behavior. Hunting down competitors and eliminating them like this is some kind of organized crime operation. But it's not drugs. It's not guns. It's not trafficking. It's towing cars. It's showing up at accidents and hooking vehicles onto a flatbed. And somehow, that's become worth killing over in Philadelphia. So let me leave you with some questions to think about. What drives a person to commit murder over something as mundane as a towing business? How do you look at a 25-year-old man sitting in his truck with his girlfriend and decide that he needs to die? How does a 27-year-old business owner go from running a towing company to allegedly hunting down and executing his competitors? And maybe the bigger question is this. How many more Aaron Whitfields have to die before Philadelphia finally does something real about the violence in the towing industry? Because we've seen this before. 2010, 2017, and now 2025 and 2026. The pattern keeps repeating. Young men keep dying, and the system keeps failing to protect them. If you found this case as disturbing as I did, make sure you're subscribed to Crime Files. Hit that like button. Share this video so more people know Aaron's story. And if you have any information about Najee Williams' whereabouts, please call the Philadelphia Police Tip Line at 215-686-TIPS. That's 215-686-8477. You can remain anonymous, and there's a $20,000 reward. Aaron Whitfield Jr. deserved better. David Garcia Morales deserved better. Their families deserve justice. Let's make sure Aaron's story isn't forgotten. I'll see you in the next case.